Sure, here's a rewritten version of your script. I've cleaned up the grammar, streamlined the flow, and trimmed some of the repetition to make it more concise without losing the emotion or suspense. This version keeps the original tone and intensity, but reads more like a polished narrative. Immediately go to the nearest room. Lock and barricade the door. Stay low and stay quiet. Music fades in. I went to a pretty typical high school, not in a suburban neighborhood, but in a more rural town. Some people graduate with classes of 500 or even 1,000 students. Mine, less than 200. It was the kind of school where you knew almost everyone by face, if not by name. Even if you weren't close with someone, you still recognized them. That's just how small the community was. Growing up in a quiet town meant not much happened. After school, we'd ride bikes, play sports, basic stuff. This was about 17 years ago. Things are probably very different for kids now. What always stood out to me about my high school was the lack of bullying, at least the stereotypical kind you see in movies. Sure, people teased each other, but no one was getting shoved into lockers or having their lunch money stolen. There was no obvious bully in our grade. We had quiet kids, of course, but one kid stood out more than the others. He literally never spoke. I'll call him Luke. Luke wasn't weird-looking or creepy. In fact, he seemed nice when people made the effort to talk to him. We shared one class, a computer elective that had students from all grades. Back then, our computer labs still had those big, bulky desktop machines. Luke always sat alone in the second row, far left. Everyone else tended to sit with their friends. Not long into the semester, some seniors started picking on Luke. It started with dumb jokes about how quiet he was. Creepy quiet, they'd say. The teacher never stepped in. He was kind of a pushover, honestly. Eventually, it escalated. I saw a paper ball get tossed at Luke's head once. He turned around slowly, visibly upset. The seniors laughed and pointed fingers at each other, pretending it wasn't them. The look on Luke's face, some mix of sadness, anger, and defeat, stuck with me. But I didn't step in. I just watched. One day, I saw Luke sitting alone, on a curb near the school after classes. I was heading to my car. I had an early birthday, so I drove, and I decided to talk to him. I asked if he needed a ride. His face lit up a little. He said yes. During that 10-minute drive, we talked. He told me he was tired of people, not just the seniors. He said he felt like everyone picked on him in every class. I realized then just how isolated he really was. After that, we'd say hey to each other in class. But I still never stepped in when others picked on him. I regret that. Then one day, Luke didn't show up to our computer class. That afternoon, during 7th period, an announcement came over the loudspeaker. Lockdown. This is not a drill. Everyone froze. Our teacher locked the door, turned off the lights, and told us to huddle in a corner. Her panic made us even more scared. We sat in silence for 20-30 minutes. Then another announcement came. A masked individual carrying a black duffel bag had been seen approaching the school. Security had spotted them in time, and the building was locked down before they could enter. Police were already responding. That day ended early. It was a Friday. I remember taking a couple of friends back to my place to hang out. The rest of that evening is blurry. What I do remember clearly is what happened in the middle of the night. I woke up to tapping on my window. When I looked, there was someone standing outside. I panicked, but when I leaned closer, I heard a voice. It's me, Luke. My heart dropped. I cracked the window. What are you doing here? How did you find me? He said, I tried to do something bad. It clicked immediately. Was it you? The lockdown? He said yes. I didn't ask what he was planning. I didn't want to know. Instead, I asked how he found my house. He said he remembered me mentioning the deli near where I lived, and he found my car by biking around. Then he asked to come inside. I told him no. I told him he should go to the school and confess. He just stood there, unmoving. So I said, loudly, "Dad!" That scared him off. I went straight to my parents and told them everything. My mom called the police. When an officer arrived, I gave them Luke's name and told them what he had admitted. They already knew about the attempted school breach. Police went to his house, but he wasn't there. I don't know if he came home or was found, but by the next day, he had confessed. I heard he was charged with something like making a terroristic threat. He did time. He's been out for a while now. I don't know where he is today. Part of me feels bad. He was clearly pushed to a breaking point. He came to me simply because I had once shown him kindness, something no one else really had. But the fact that he brought a gun and wore a mask to school, even if he got cold feet, I can't pretend he just wanted to scare people. He could have done something horrific. I hope he got help. Music fades out.